Today we're talking about shadowing versus work, like which is better experience. Assuming you have the work requirement covered, people will often ask me, I have my work hours, but I'm taking some classes I can't really work anymore. Should I keep shadowing or should I volunteer? What will help me with my application? What will help me get into school? And here's what I tell people. Shadowing is fabulous because you get to see different parts of the hospital or the healthcare system, whether it's the hospital, an outpatient clinic, a rural area, an urban area, something like that. Then you get surgical versus clinical. You get, big practices. You get very small, like single provider practices. So it gives you a very good view of the different roles that you might be interested or not interested in as a PA. The other thing I will say it does is it gives you exposure to a lot of different practice dynamics. And that's really important because if you come spend a day with me, you'll see how I interact with my PA partners, with the supervising physicians, with the collaborating physicians, with the other PAs and NPs that I work with. And you'll get a sense for how we operate, how not operate in surgery, but how we operate, interprofessionally. And, is it a happy place? Is it a not happy place? Is everyone complaining or is everyone happy to be at work? So those are really important things because then the more you do of that, when you get to your interview, you'll be able to be like, I get the feeling that this is not a happy place, or I get the feeling this is a fabulous place. And that will let you kind of hone in a little bit more on what fits you and your style of practicing. Now, I will say at the same time, your work hours, I think a job where you're showing up, you've got a boss, you've got a responsibility to do, it's not passive like shadowing. You are, coming to work and you're doing a job. That's important also. And it actually will make you a better PA the more work experience that you have. A lot of people in my class were non-traditional students. And they had worked a different job, whether it was a healthcare job or it was completely separate from healthcare. Maybe they worked in customer service or hospitality, or, I had one guy that was a business owner, a small business owner. And any experience you have will actually make you a better provider. But I would argue that some jobs like a CNA is not a glamorous job, but man, you learn a lot about what the nurses have to put up with. Oftentimes those people that when they go into PA school or NP school, they're more compassionate to what the nurses are going through because they've lived it and they've worked it. You also understand kind of the jargon that's on, in the charts, whether it's you're in a skilled nursing facility, you're in a office, you're in a hospital, you learn CTA, chest, abdomen, pelvis with and without contrast. You overhear the conversations. Whereas I was a phlebotomist and it was good experience. It was great experience. And I still, find the lab stuff comfortable, but I didn't really know how orders were written. I didn't really know what the common tests were. I didn't know kind of the order of events when somebody was getting worked up for different things. And CNAs can get quite good experience with that. So that's not a bad idea either, but the shadowing, I think, will give you a lot of insight on what to look for in a practice. If you have the opportunity to take some extra time to shadow, so let's say your job is done, you're going back for your last year of school while you're applying, shadow as much as you can. And when you shadow, you are getting such a good view of the different types of jobs that are out there that in your interview, one thing I worried about was, do people really know what they're getting into? Do they just like the idea of a PA, but they don't really understand what the day-to-day looks like? And if you have a lot of shadowing hours, you can be like, I shadowed this many people. I saw inpatient, outpatient. I saw tons of different stuff. I know this is a job for me, or I prefer some over others, but I'm open to anything. That would be fine too. Now, if you had a job in healthcare and you had to take time off for school and now you have another opportunity, let's say you get waitlisted for school or you get, turned down and you don't get a seat and now you've got some time to fill, get a different job in healthcare. So don't go back to what you know just because it's comfortable. Try something new because that experience is going to be great. If you came into me and you said I was a phlebotomist and then I finished school, but I didn't get in, So I went back and I was a phlebotomist again. I'd say, okay, I guess that's fine. But if you were like, I had done the phlebotomy thing, but I wanted to try something different. So I got my CNA license and now I'm doing CNA work. I'd say, wow, okay, you're committed to this field, So I hate to say it, but I would do both. But if you have little bits and pieces of time where you can't work a full-time job, by all means, please shadow, because it does give you such a good view of what you might be getting into as a PA. So as always, leave us a comment below. Be sure to like and follow this video, follow our channel, and head over to pastartup.co for other resources for your journey through and after PA school.